by fellow colleagues in government, Congressman Max Rose, State Senator Simcha Felder, City Council Member Kalman Yeger, City Council Member Mark Prager, the representative from the Brooklyn Borough President's Office, representatives from the Mayor's Office, representatives from the Kings County District Attorney's Office, Ronnie Powell from the Sephardic Community Federation, as well as other Jewish community leaders, and of course, the owner of the store that we're in front of, the very Jews, Sharon Helbig. We are here because yesterday, on the 2-year anniversary memorial of the most devastating attack on the Jewish community in American history, the shooting at the Tree of Life synagogue in Pittsburgh, we were here because yesterday, this store owner came to open up her place of business and saw vile, disgusting, despicable, anti-Semitic graffiti and vandalism on her business. As if trying to keep a small business afloat during the most challenging times in a century was not enough of a stress and a headache. She had to come to her place of business and see this absolutely disgusting graffiti targeting Jewish people on her place of business. We are here collectively as a community to condemn this vile, hateful act and to condemn the vile and hateful rhetoric that we have tragically seen on the rise over the last few weeks and over the last few months and over the last few years, targeting the Jewish community, blaming them for something that is not their fault, singling them out and pointing a finger at them and saying it's because of you. And by doing that, it unleashes a wave of hate that then puts people like Sharon and her store or other store owners or other community members in harm's way and makes them live in fear. In 2019, the Anti-Defamation League said we saw the highest rate of anti-Semitic attacks that we've ever seen in a generation. Just yesterday, the AJC released a study that said that nearly 50% of Americans do not know what anti-Semitism is. Graffiti on a storefront window is anti-Semitism. Saying vile and disgusting things about Jews is anti-Semitism. This is the definition of anti-Semitism. Targeting businesses because of who those store owners are is anti-Semitism. And we stand united as one community, Jewish and non-Jewish alike, to condemn it and to say never again, and to say not on our watch. Because it just starts out with graffiti on a window. And then it becomes a banner over the Belt Parkway by white supremacist groups trying to recruit members. And then it becomes a shooting in a synagogue. And then it becomes worse and worse and worse. We have to stop it at the beginning. We have to cut the head off at the top. And that's what we're here to do today. And this incident, I can't help but think that this incident would not have happened were it not for the increase in very concerning rhetoric that we've seen from those in government who have been singling out and targeting people in the Jewish community. This is not a Jewish virus. This is not a Chinese virus. This is not a black virus. This is not a Greek virus. This is affecting all of us, and we're all in this together, and we're not going to let that stop us from combating the virus, but also keeping our neighborhood safe. So I want to thank everyone who's joined me out here today. I'm going to call up a few speakers now to share a few words. And first, we're going to hear from our Congressman Max Rose.
Andrew, I want to start off by thanking you for your extraordinary leadership and always put your morals and values first, irrespective of political consequences. Let's give Andrew another round of applause. Over 100 years ago, my great-grandfather fled anti-Semitism from Eastern Europe. He came to Brooklyn, built a diner, family members joined unions. Now I'm a congressman. That's what this country is all about. That's what New York is all about. But now, here we see anti-Semitism coming back. All of our families fled exactly this to come to New York because New York was a shining beacon of hope, of diversity, and of acceptance. Today, we openly pronounce that this will not stand. Not here. Not today. Not ever. We do not care if you are a Democrat. We do not care if you are a Republican. We do not care if you are independent. If you target communities, if you are anti-Semitic, if you are subtly anti-Semitic, today we stand and say you are wrong and we are opposed to you. 100%. The summonses, the doors that are closed, the graffiti, it's got to stop. I'm proud that I, as a member of Congress, held the only hearings on anti-Semitic violence in all of Congress in this cycle. All of Congress. This is a local problem, this is a domestic problem, and this is a global problem. We have to increase funding for Donald Trump's anti-Semitism czar. 100%. We have to increase, triple funding for our synagogues and our shuls so they can protect themselves. Should be massively increased. And anybody who commits these offenses should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law at all levels of government. So today we stand united. United against hate, especially united against the oldest form of hate and vitriol, and that is anti-Semitism. Thank you all, God bless you, and stay strong.
Thank you very much, Congressman. Next, I'd like to call up my colleague in the State Senate, Senator Simcha Felder.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I want to add one point. We're here this morning on an issue of anti-Semitism and hate. But the issue is not allowing the police department to do what they have to do. This is the culmination of the policy in the city of curtailing the ability of our cops to do what they have to do. There's a reason that for years, thank God, we did not have these types of incidents. And until New York City wakes up and says, we are down the wrong road, we need to give the cops the ability to do what they have to do, we're going to have more and more of this. I'm not the prophet of doom, but it's clear whether it's hate for Jews or hate for anybody else or crime in general or graffiti, as the congressman. The quality of life in our city has been deteriorating as a direct result of policies that curtail the New York City Police Department from doing their job. We need the cops. We love the cops. We respect them. Let them do their job.
Mayor, no good.
Thank you very much, Senator Felder. Now I'd like to call up, or before I call up our next speaker, we are also joined by representatives from Assemblymember Simmerwitz's office as well as Assemblymember Eichenstein, who both could not be here right now. Next, I'd like to call up a colleague in city government whose district we are in, and that is City Councilmember Kalman Yeger.
Not easy to follow warriors. Congressman Max Rose, Gounardes, thank you very much for the whole time. But I want to say something about Senator Felder, who just spoke. I know him all my life. He's a calm, docile guy. He's a good public servant. This kind of riled up from the Senate. This is what we are all feeling. This is what everybody in my community is feeling. Chaim's district's feeling. This is what Jews all across this city are feeling. What is it that we did? What is it that we did? That we came to this country, that we did right, that we do good, that we build businesses. What is it that we did that so offends people?
You're good.
What is it that we did? The answer. My story is Congressman Rose's story. My grandfather fled the Nazis, made it to Japan, lived out the war in China. By the grace of God, he was able to get to this country, to build a family. What is it that we did to offend people so much that somebody would come to a store for no reason? They don't know this person. They don't know this store. Why would you write that? Why would somebody do that? What is it about the Syrian community that came here with nothing, that built up this beautiful neighborhood that I have the privilege to represent, along with Chaim and Councilman Traeger and the council. What is it about them that has offended people so much? Calm, decent, kind, charitable, good people. What is it about us? It's about the oldest disease in the history of the world. Hating Jews. Hating Jews. It's not a new story. It didn't just start yesterday. It didn't start at Eitz Chaim, at the Tree of Life congregation. It didn't start in January, in December, when somebody walked into a congregation in Muncie and started killing people. It didn't start in Jersey City. It didn't start in California. It didn't start here in New York City in the Crown Heights riots. The only pogrom in the history of North America happened here in our city. It's been going on for years. It's been going on for centuries, for millennia. And here we are today in 2020, in a country that is supposed to be the beacon of light onto the world, the United States of America, in the most progressive metropolis in the world, New York City. Brooklyn, New York, the place where no matter where in the world you go, if you say that you're from Brooklyn, they know where you're from. Brooklyn, New York. And somebody, one person this time, one person the time before, one person the time before, one person the time before. If it was just one person, just one incident, we would chalk it up to another. Okay. Something bad. This repeats itself always, often, all throughout our city, throughout our nation. But right here where we all serve, in legislative bodies, where I have the privilege of walking into a chamber wearing a yarmulke, I am Senator Felder, we have the privilege to walk into chambers in government to pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to take an oath of office to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, wearing our yarmulkes, the children and grandchildren of the survivors of the Holocaust, businesses that are owned by people who fled oppression in the Middle East, to come here to our country and make something better. And some people offending people by our mere existence, where does that come from? I'll tell you where it comes from. I don't have some of the answers. For me. The rhetoric of those in government and those in the media that are irresponsible, not referring to the cameraman for sure, but the people who you work with, who are so happy to shine a light of derision, of exclusion, of on our community, to say, you, Jews, you're different. You're different. We're going to come into your neighborhood with our cameras and our lights, and we're going to shine a light on it, and we're going to talk about it. Why? Because you look different. Because you wear a white shirt every day, a dark suit. Because you have a yarmulke. Because you have a long beard. Because you have a long coat. Because you're a Syrian Jew from Syria, and you're proud of who you are. Syrian Jews who come here can speak Arabic. They speak English. They built their country. They built this country up so much. And what are we being challenged for? Being Jewish. When does it end? I promise you it doesn't end after this president. That's what we said. It ends when every single person standing behind a camera and the people you work for change that message. When you stop shining lights on our community to say that we are different, we don't belong here, enough is enough already. You have to stop it now. And again, I want to thank you all. Stand up. I want to say something about what Senator Gounardes said. It's very important to point this out. It's okay. It's normal for the guy with a yarmulke, me and Simcha, Chaim, we stand there, we say we don't like this anti-Semitism. What we need and what we have, Greek Orthodox, Jews, Gentiles, every single person, we're gathering together to say enough is enough. We don't hate people in this city. It stops now. And we need the media to help us stop it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. Next I'd like to call up City Councilman from the neighboring district and City Councilmember Chaim Deutsch.
Usually when elected officials run a press conference, they tell me notes, and I don't have any notes behind my mask. Well, I just want to say that the messages that you have heard today and you're going to hear is from the heart. It's the frustration of the community, it's the anxiety of the community. It's when our special needs are not able to go to school. It's when our school children are not able to be educated. It's when our businesses are shuttered and closed and issued bogus fines for following the guidelines. Yesterday, we commemorated the Tree of Life Synagogue, the massacre that happened there, where 11 of our brothers and sisters were slaughtered only because they were Jewish. We have seen anti-Semitism across the world, across our country, and particularly here in New York City. When you look at the numbers of hate crimes throughout our city, the highest influx is against the Jewish community. It's not only when a Jew gets assaulted on the streets that it's a hate crime. It's not only when you see messages of hate all on a storefront that it's a hate crime. Or when you see the rhetoric from our decision-makers in government, such as Governor Cuomo, with aggressive targeting to the Jewish community, that is called anti-Semitism. And that rhetoric needs to stop. We cannot pick and choose when we come out to a rally. We need to come out whenever we see that we are targeted. And this is unacceptable, and this needs to stop.
By the media as well.
And finally, I just want to end up by saying, at every press conference, I thank the media, and today I'm thanking the media only for coming out today to hear our side of the stories, to hear our frustration, to hear how we are suffering, to hear how we have anxiety, where you have many people in this community who are in the so-called red zone, who are near nervous breakdown. Governor, Mr. Mayor, listen to our community. Look at these faces. Look at the anxiety. Look how people are suffering. There is a safe way how to open schools. There is a safe way how to allow our business to conduct business to provide for your families. Enough is enough, and this needs to stop. God should look over all of us. When they come out to the community, they attack us all. So we all need to stand united. God bless the United States of America. God bless you all. And God bless our President of the United States of America.
Thank you, Councilman. Now we're going to hear from Councilmember Mark Prager.
Thank you, Senator Gounardes, for gathering us all here today, and to my colleagues, Councilman Yeger, whose district that we're in. I am not just here as a council member. I am here as a proud Jew. I am here as a proud Jew. We should be unafraid to say that we're proud Jews. I am here. That's right. I am here as a grandson of grandmothers that escaped concentration camps. I am here as a grandson of World War II veterans who helped defeat Nazi Germany. I am here as a son of immigrants who fled the Soviet Union because of the experience of religious persecution because they were Jewish. I carry that with me in my heart, in my bones, for all my life. And some might ask, what does this gathering here accomplish? And that might be a fair question. But my question I pose right back, what if we didn't gather here today? What message does that send? Make no mistake, this is one of the most disgusting, hateful, anti-Semitic, misogynist attacks that we have seen in our neighborhood. So we will call this out, we will condemn it, and we appreciate the 61st Precinct. Let's give the precinct a round of applause for their quick response. contacted the Hate Crimes Unit. There needs to be an immediate investigation, and the Brooklyn District Attorney needs to prosecute to the fullest extent of the law. My colleagues make very valid points about the rhetoric. And you know, we hear a lot about the term and the phrase essential service. One can debate if writing a book in the middle of a pandemic is an essential service. But let me say a couple of things here. Let me tell the folks, our friends in the media and our friends in government. We saw the news cameras and the news and the coverage in recent weeks in predominantly Jewish neighborhoods. Let me share some facts that we don't see enough coverage about, or maybe a missing chapter in a book. First of all, a lot of the work that people behind me do are about strengthening the safety net in our community. More than half of the Jewish population in the city lives at or below the poverty line. I didn't see the coverage. I didn't see the coverage or the chapter about Met Council help working with my colleagues who have secured resources for them, distributing thousands and thousands of meals to families across New York City. Yeah. Thousands of meals. Not just in the Jewish community, but they came out to Coney Island, time and time again, helping our families in public housing. Jewish organizations lending a hand, shoulder to shoulder with all of our neighborhoods. Where's the coverage and news about an organization, Sephardic Halim, providing mental health services and mental health crisis? Where is that chapter in the book? Where is that coverage? That's the story of the Jewish people. Scapegoating Jews is not a new phenomenon. But let me tell you folks, when you come after the Jewish community, you come after all of us. And history, as our guide will tell us, that the Jews and the Jewish community will prevail. We will prevail. Yes. So we're here today to condemn hate, to condemn anti-Semitism, but we're also here to reaffirm our solidarity and our love for the Jewish faith and the Jewish people. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Councilman Traeger. Next, we're going to have, on behalf of the Sephardic Community Federation, Ronnie Towell.
Thank you, Senator Gounardes. I'm Ronnie Towell, co-chair of the Sephardic Community Federation. I've had the privilege of serving this capacity for more than 14 years. I want to give you a little history lesson. 110 years ago, 6 generations ago, our forefathers came to these shores of New York. They settled on the Lower East Side, and about 20 years, 90 years ago, they moved to Brooklyn in the Bensonhurst area. They stayed there for about 20 years, and about 70 years ago, they moved to this area. And in 7 decades, this community has built a network of community facilities, investments in synagogues, museums, social service agencies, bar none. This community has done nothing but been a major asset to Brooklyn and to this neighborhood and to the entire city of New York. My question is, what have we done to deserve this anti-Semitic attack? Nothing. Nothing but been model citizens, hard workers, people who built businesses both locally. Store owners are suffering. Yeshiva parents are suffering. We do not deserve this. And one can only think, why is this happening all of a sudden? We had an attack yesterday, or the day before yesterday. A businessman told me there were 2 attacks recently that were not reported because they thought they were one of. The problem is, I look at the rhetoric of some of the officials in Albany and also at City Hall, where the word Jewish or Jew ends up in the conversation. Why should that be? We live in a very diverse area. 11223, 11230, 11235, 11229 has many people of different colors and creeds and heritages. We do not deserve this type of scrutiny, and certainly hate crime is definitely unacceptable. We must stand together to ensure that this never happens again. I appeal to my elected official colleagues to stand with us as you always have done. We need increased police presence, number 1. Number two, we need cameras on all the commercial strips, whether it be AWP, AWU, highway. It's coming after now. All of our residents have always been there for us. We need to advocate for us and we can advocate for our community. God bless America. God bless New York City. God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rodney. Our last speaker is going to be the owner of Very Juice, the person who was victimized by this attack, and that is Sharon Help.
Yesterday morning, we opened up Very Juice. It was very sad and somebody left in our window. Around this area, people are very respectful to each other. Very Juice is all about diversity, just like America is. We serve all people. These are very sad times. It's very hard to see people walking around full of anger and hatred. And we have to remember that God is good. Very Juice will keep on doing what we do best. And God is to remember how lucky we are to have all these wonderful applications come in and everything. That's what we do best. Thank you so much.
Very much to all of our partners in government, our elected officials, members of the community who have joined us today. Thank you for coming out today. We'll see if there's any questions from the press. If not, all this is closed.
Can you say the name of the owner, seller?
Sharon Helder. E-L-K-I-N. E-L-K-I-N, yeah.
S-H-A-R-O-N.
You have the business here?
And this is the first time anything like this has ever happened, right?
Any videos on it? Who did it?
We need cameras. Okay, guys, thank you very much for coming out.